This is the Media Police Post, broadcasting from the Fort Hall School of Government. In this show, we police the state of truth in the Republic. And because truth is communicated to us by journalists and analysts, we have made it our civic duty to put it to the test. We advance from two confirmed truths about the media. One, and according to Roger Stone, the media is either lazy or evil. And for the most part, it is both evil and lazy. That is why the truth, their truth, must be put to a test.
And two, that journalism is verified gossip. In fact, what is presented to us as news analysis is gossip that has been verified by journalists. This gossip has to be ground-truthed. We will assess the state of truth in what they submit to the Republic, and we will pass verdict on what is true and what is not. For the record, we are not journalists, we are thinkers. We are not lazy or evil, and we do not verify gossip. What we give you is the truth that sets you free.
On today's show, we will discuss ideas that reflect unformed and uninformed opinions, and ideas that made you stupid. Narratives that fell into the cognitive trap of we see things as we are, not as they are. Narratives based on conjecture history and those that smack of envelope journalism. Karibu Miss K and Ajax.
Thank you. So let me kick us off. This week, Makau Mutua gave us a criteria on how to choose a running mate in a column published in The Nation on Sunday. But if his criteria is informed by a human rights framework, ours is informed by realpolitik. And on this, we are right, he's wrong. Although I must say he's our friend nowadays. So in a realpolitik framework, there is only one criteria for choosing a running mate in this election. Tall, short, fat, thin, black, brown, woman or man, the candidate must be a Kikuyu, and we want to release the shortlist. So William Ruto's running mate is probably the most complicated choice he will ever make. Whoever he chooses, a brown Kikuyu, a black Kikuyu, he will disappoint. If he chooses Anne Waiguru, she will disappoint, not because she's brown. If he chooses Gachagua, he will disappoint, not because he's black.
And has very many teeth.
If he chooses Justin Muturi, he will disappoint for no good earthly reason.
Except he has very small eyes.
Anyway, all the Kikuyu running mates for William Ruto will bring him down. In the meantime, Ruto cannot have a running mate from any other community. If he's romancing Mudavadi, he's lying to him. The Ruto candidacy has been imprisoned by Kikuyus. Ruto's running mate must be a Kikuyu at zero option.
And if he doesn't like it, he can sit on a pin.
But if Ruto's Kikuyu running mate will bring him down, Raila's Kikuyu running mate will boost his candidature. Remember, Raila has scored 44% of the vote in 3 elections. One without Kalonzo, one without Mudavadi, one without Ruto, and one without Kikuyus. All he needs is a small dose of Kikuyus to get to 50% plus 1. And this is why today we will announce to the Republic the Fort Hall shortlist of Kikuyu running mates for Raila in order of possibility. Option 1, Lee Kinyanjui, Governor of Nakuru, an unremarkable politician, according to JM. Anyway, politicians that go far, operating from the underground, are always unremarkable. That is how Arap Moi became vice president, and because Lee looks like Arap Moi, he will also represent the Kalenjin nation. Option 2, Mutahi Kagwe, a consummate politician, mentored by the same wazers that mentored Uhuru Kenyatta. Plus, he has a sense of humor. What he needs to do, though, is hit the ground. Option 3, Martha Karua. She doesn't understand romance, and that is why she's playing hard to get. But if she goes with Ruto, she will complicate the race for Raila. Finally, option 4, Peter Kenneth. Partly because he looks like Obama, and the country will be very happy to have a deputy president who looks like Obama, and partly because he has matured politically. Although PK is last on the list, the Bible says the last shall become first.
Now allow me to change tracks quite briefly. Dear Mr. Ruto, although you have been an insider, there is one lesson you seem not to have learned. That is, the state is intrinsically constituted as a criminal enterprise, and that is why the head of state the world over is above the law. So are you surprised that all your rallies have had violence and tear gas? This is exactly what RaiLee experienced by running against the state. He had tear gas Mondays, tear gas Tuesdays, tear gas every day, even tear gas ice cream. Every time he said Tibim, he was met with tear gas. What is my point? When you go against the state, you get tear gassed, and that is the law. But I could also be completely wrong. Maybe, Mr. Ruto, you learned something from working with the state. Maybe it became clear to you that the state is a criminal enterprise, and because of this, you have had to become more criminal than the state. Is it possible that the chaos that has been in your rallies in Eldoret, Bomet, Kondele, and Jacaranda were all engineered by you as a way of creating the impression that the state is against you? Is it also possible that you chose this path of violence because you do not have the numbers? And to fight that dilemma, you disrupt your own rallies and have your media Photoshop the numbers like a scene from a Hollywood movie. If Uhuru Kenyatta was a student of Jomo and did his pupillage under Moi as a day scholar, you are a boarding student of Arap Moi.
Index 1.
And did your pupillage under RaiLee when he was throwing stones. Is it possible that you are using the cunningness of Arap Moi and the smooth criminality of the RaiLee enterprise before the handshake to make it seem like the state engineered the violence against you? Is this what has resulted in violence in your rallies? I'm just asking questions, and I am asking questions because questions tell you more than answers. In the meantime, the country is watching you and your cleverness. We can tell when you're lying and when you're lying. Wana asifiwe.
Now, President Uhuru offered us a profound insight during his State of the Nation address. He challenged us to cause a shift from a fixation on the law to the higher ideal, which is justice. Justice is an ideal to be aspired to, but the law is a tool. When the ideal changes, then the tool must also change. When the law ceases to serve the ends of justice, it must be retooled. This is a thinking that informs many of the changes in the political party's amendment bill, including the proposed new Section 14, which speaks to political party justice. The drafters of the Constitution in Article 103 provided that all MPs will be deemed to have resigned if they promote or join in the formation of another political party, as defined by Section 14(5) of the Political Parties Act. Simple. A plain reading of this should have led to the expulsion of all the Tanga UDA MPs and the Deputy President over 2 years ago. But this did not happen because the courts were focused on process. And in this case, they were focused on the administrative process that should be followed before an MP or the Deputy President is expelled. This means that the law, specifically Section 14, as it currently reads, is redundant because it cannot be used to achieve the aims for which it was stipulated. That is why Isaac Mwaura is still an MP, despite the steps that were taken by Jubilee. The spirit of the law, or justice, have been undermined by the letter of the law, a tool. If the courts were the problem, this amendment is the solution. The amended Section 14 of this Act offers only two solutions whose endgame is what Article 103 of the Constitution anticipated. Solution number one: if you abandon the party that took you to office, you will be forced to lose your seat. But unlike before, the hands of the courts are tied because the amended Section 14 elaborates all the necessary steps, which therefore shrinks the room for judicial interpretation. What this means is that if you support UDA as a member of Jubilee, you automatically have to lose your seat. Alternatively, solution number two: instead of being kicked out of Parliament or the executive, you are given the honorable choice of resigning. These are the two options given to UDA under the revised Section 14 of the Political Parties Act: Point blank period. Good night.